Thank you for joining our webinar. This is the Flow-Rite Advantage. I am delighted to have a few team members on the call who work really well together. Rob McKnight is going to introduce them to you. He is our Southern Sales Manager, and he is going to take it away with describing some of that synergy that happens here at Flow-Rite. Thanks, Rob. Take it away.
Thanks, Eileen. Hey, I'd like to thank everyone and welcome you to the Flow-Rite Advantage webinar. I appreciate y'all taking time out of your day today to come join us right now. What we're going to do, and Eileen's right, we're going to talk to different departments within the organization, kind of tell you how we work together. We've had a product-specific webinar before, a technical-specific webinar, and now we're kind of doing a synergy between all the teams here at Flow-Rite. And real quick, what we're going to do with the agenda is we're going to have a view from our president. That'll be Todd Hart will be talking about that. We are going to have our engineering director who is going to get us out on the floor, the production floor. Then we're going to talk to our quality control and improvement manager and customer service director, Jeff Holly and Ron Mitchell. They work together pretty closely. And then we'll have two of our sales reps, Kyle McKee and Hannah McCarthy. They're both OEM and sales managers that are going to talk to you a little bit about best practices and battery monitoring. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and hand it over to Todd and let him talk to you for a second. Todd?
Hello and welcome. My name is Todd Hart, the President of FlowRite Controls, and I'm here to provide information on FlowRite as an organization. FlowRite is a vertically integrated fluid control company founded in 1981 and rooted in innovation and entrepreneurial spirit. What does vertically integrated mean at FlowRite Controls? It means we design our own products, cut our own steel, mold our own plastic, assemble and ship around the world while providing support through our home office in Grand Rapids, Michigan, and onwards to Shanghai, China, Hong Kong, and Seoul, South Korea. Every day at FlowRite begins the same way with the same metrics, our plus QDIP: safety, quality, delivery, inventory, and productivity. You'll note with the plus QDIP that first is the safety of our people, second is the customer, and then finally FlowRite comes third. An example of quality at FlowRite is being ISO certified since 2002, and again in 2020 passing our renewal with 0 findings, either minor or major. One way we combine safety and innovation is during the COVID-19 crisis. We've built our own mask for the safety of our people and expanded on out into a community and customer base. This is just one example of where innovation and our core values come together. Another example of innovation at FlowRite Controls is our venture into electronics. We now make a variety of sensors, battery management systems, and all controlled through an app portal. FlowRite has 4 core values: help first, think beyond tomorrow, question and improve, and love what you do. For those of you who've worked with our sales team, I'm sure you'll agree they embody the values of help first and love what you do.
All right, Todd, thank you so much. I appreciate that. We're going to go to Mark Harriman on our production floor. Mark?
Hey, thanks guys for letting me join your webinar today. Appreciate it. I am Mark Harriman, Engineering Director here at FlowRite Controls, and I'm standing in our facility here in Byron Center, Michigan. This is where we produce 100% of our valves that are used in the industrial market. We are very vertically integrated, so on that side of the wall you would see our molding department. Over some machinery on that side you're going to see where the valve is assembled. But what I really wanted to talk to you guys today about is where we test our product before it goes out the door. So that's Carmen. How you doing, Carmen? She's usually running this machine, but she's going to give me an opportunity to come up here and describe it. Our people here love what they're doing, so we really appreciate all the hard work they're doing, especially in these times. That's why we're wearing face shields and masks. Our valve itself is designed to be very robust in the environment, which means we don't want a lot of moving parts. The other thing we want to do is we want to make sure it's of the highest quality. So we're going to test this part, every one of them that goes out the door, very similar to how it would be used in the field. So what we want to do is we want to simulate what's happening inside of a battery. So as the water fills into a battery, the electrolyte light comes up and the valve will shut off. So to simulate that, we've designed a test bench where the parts are loaded in. We load in 8 at a time. They come around to the first station. The first station does a high pressure test. So it's going to run water through at a very high pressure. there's a little tray underneath that's going to come up and simulate water coming up into a battery, and it's going to shut off that valve. Then a row of sensors come in and it checks to make sure they all shut off properly. Then that machine will index and it does a very similar test, but only this time it's done under low pressure. So again, we have a very wide pressure range for our valve, and we want to make sure that it works at both low pressure and high pressure. So we're going to test that right here. So again, it does a high pressure test, then a low pressure test, and then it is really a flow test. It's just verifying that everything is flowing properly like it should. The machine monitors the location of every one of these valves, and then as it indexes around, if it passed all of the tests that are on this machine, it gets laser date coded. This will tell us exactly the day, the shift of when this part was produced. From there, it comes around to our exit station. If for some reason anything got rejected, it dumps it into various bins so that we can tell exactly what it rejected for. Our quality team can then go through and analyze these to figure out where the problem might be and then address it. Only good parts come out the other side of it, and then those good parts are moved on to our kitting cell where they eventually get shipped out to our customers. Thank you.
All right, Mark, I appreciate that. Thank you very much. And what we're going to do now is our engineering and quality department work very close together. And so what I'm going to do is introduce you to Jeff Holly with the self-promoted Quality and Control Improvement Manager title that I like to say. And I'm going to let him talk to you a little bit about the quality and how that ties in with the engineering and works with the sales department and customer service as well. So Jeff, go ahead, buddy.
Thanks, Rob. As Todd mentioned, Flow-Rite is an ISO certified company, and this requires a robust quality system that needs to demonstrate adherence to high standards and to show continuous improvement. Also, as our company is very committed to being a lean enterprise, those lean tools and methodologies tie very well into our quality system. We use those lean tools to enhance and support our determination to meet and exceed customer needs. Flow-Rite's quality team's role is really to assure the quality system is maintained and that it is improving. We've got to make sure that we're getting better. Things that we could be doing to what we do internally, we'll do daily, weekly, and monthly metrics. We're going to verify incoming material, make sure anything manufactured is meeting spec. We're also going to do associate training to safety criteria, standardized work, visual aids, mistake proofing validation, and product inspections. The team also leads problem-solving efforts using the scientific method of plan, do, check, act. We are constantly monitoring and reacting to trends in our data, making sure that our processes are improving and that we're working on the right things for the products for our customers. Part of that improvement cycle has led us to question current methods and how we do things on the floor, and especially in our machinery. A couple of examples. We used to have some analog sensors that just weren't accurate and adjustable enough, so we replaced those with digital sensors. We've replaced regular sensors with actual vision systems that can detect a defect and not allow the machine to go on, or it can prevent a defect from actually being made. So those are good things to make sure we're making those good parts going out the door. Another important role of the quality department is as warranty returns back from you, the customers. We want to make sure we're getting those parts back, analyzing what's going on. We test them in our lab, try to see if we can determine if it's a new failure mode or a failure mode we've already corrected. That information gets fed back to our manufacturing engineers, the quality team. We come together with operations and look at those failure modes to make sure, hey, we put this to bed, it's done. This is an older part, we're not going to see that again. So that's very important for us. Finally, we've implemented a quality policy simply of happy customers. That simple policy is trained internally to all of our associates, but always to remind people that we have to focus both internally and on our external customers.
All right, Jeff, I appreciate that. Thank you very much. And to everybody out there, Jeff and his team do a great job. They probably do a little bit better job focusing on the external customers and the internal customers, but that's a conversation for a different time. So, Jeff, I appreciate you, Bubba. Now we're going to tie in with Ron Mitchell. Ron is our customer service manager, and he's going to tell you a little bit about what he does, what his team does, and really how they help and tie in everything within the organization. So, Ron, go ahead, buddy.
Thanks, Rob. Appreciate it. I can definitely tell you that the customer service department views the sales team as the #1 team around, unlike the quality department. Just kidding, Jeff. Anyway, I do appreciate the opportunity to spend a little time and just highlight a few areas, key areas of support that we offer in customer service. While we're the initial point of contact, oftentimes, as Rob and Todd and Mark and Jeff have all highlighted, really what we do is only as a result of the support behind us, and that's through production, quality, engineering, scheduling, all those departments that are all there and accessible to us, allows us to do our job even better. So definitely a team game here. So what are some of the key areas? Four of them really come to mind as it relates to working with our customers, and that's really product inquiries, tech support, order status inquiries, and warranty issues. From the product area, a lot of what we do is just get people asking, what the heck is this, and how do I get it? I can't begin to tell you how many times we get photographs either emailed or text messaged to us as we're trying to identify an old part or just something that someone's not familiar with, and that's great. We appreciate that. And it can also just be someone that has a particular battery and they want to know what type of watering kit to put on it, just to make sure that they get the right fit and finish, if you will. We also are a resource for tech support. An example of that would simply be, I have an old water cart. The battery, it's not turning on, but the battery seems to be functioning properly. So what do I do next? How do I get this up and running? And we're a resource there. We can do a lot of troubleshooting on the phone with you to help identify those. And it could even be something as simple as some customer end user has a regulated hose supply and they don't understand why they have spinning red balls and what that means. Those are simple examples of just the tech support that we're available for anytime. Another common theme that we hear about is order inquiries. Oftentimes people want to affirm when their customers' orders are shipping out, what is the availability of particular products, lead times, just so we make sure that we get you the products and you in turn can support your customers as well. So that's definitely an area that we can provide support. And finally, and something that Jeff touched on, is warranty inquiries. I'm not certain if everyone's familiar with it, but our watering system has a 5-year warranty and our water supplies have a 1-year warranty. That is something that we're really proud of and take very seriously. The way we kind of address or approach the warranty area is, first and foremost, we want to take care of the customer. We want to make sure that if you have something that's not working properly, we get it fixed, whether that means sending out a replacement or working with you to get it repaired as quick as possible. And that's the number one priority. So if you find yourself running into that situation, please reach out to your sales manager or us, and we'll get you and the customer taken care of. And then we can certainly move on to the next step, which is important as well, and that's working with our quality department to identify root cause and whether there are issues that we need to look at internally to make our products even better. So those are the key areas that we offer support, or a few of them anyway. And I kind of alluded to the fact that we can be reached either through email, through inquiries on our website, or just using good old Ma Bell. And if there's other ways that you want to reach us that we're not available, please let us know. One thing that comes to mind is text messaging. I'm not sure if that's a popular communication vehicle, but it's certainly something that we're open to if there's a need out there. So please let us know how we can help. And just to kind of wrap up real quick, the one of the goals here is to certainly position our customers for success, and part of that is the continuous improvement that Jeff and others have mentioned. In two examples of that continuous improvement come to mind. relative to the customer service area, and that's our use of the CRM and a paperless initiative. Now, using a CRM is not unique to FlowRite certainly, but we've, in the last year anyway, have implemented some significant changes that allow us to track a lot of issues that we hear from customers. In tracking this allows us to kind of, highlight trends and use that as an early warning system internally. So if we find that, we might have a product issue, or, something as simple as tracking information is not being sent regarding orders. Those things that make all of our lives easier when they work smoothly. If we have a vehicle to kind of identify and correct them, sooner the better. And then finally, our paperless initiative, we really looked at that as how can we get better at what we do. And one of the important things that we do is support customers by entering your orders and making sure that they get out when you need them. And what we did is we actually implemented a partial automation to our order entry process. This allowed us to go paperless, which was fantastic, but more importantly, it really allowed us to get more accurate with our order entry and responsive to customer inquiries, during and after the fact. So, again, just kind of a quick snapshot of, how all of us here at FlowRite work together to that end goal of making our customers happy. So appreciate the opportunity.
All right, thanks, Ron. I appreciate that. And we really do, to everybody out there on the sales side, enjoy working with the customer service side. They really, really help us out a lot, especially when we're on the road. We can also call in with questions as we get back on the road. But it's good. And one of the things that, I don't know if it was mentioned, we do have a field representative within the customer service role that also kind of is a hybrid and also does some sales as well, and that's Sam Greco. So if there are issues, if there are problems that we aren't able to solve via the phone, we can put feet on the street and come and help you with your end user, with the customer, to make sure that we are doing everything properly. Speaking of customer service, one thing I didn't mention is on the right of your screen and the little info box, you'll see a little handout. It's our catalog. If you want to, you can click on it, download it. And following this presentation, we are going to send out a survey. And if you have any questions, you can put them in there as well, or contact us. Or if you want to, just put them in the information boxes as well now, and we'll try and answer those if we have time. So continuing the little journey, going from customer service to sales, I want to introduce Kyle McKee and Hannah McCarthy. Kyle is our OEM manager out west, and he's going to talk to you a little bit about best practices. So come on in, Kyle.
Is this thing on? Yes, good. Hey, everybody. Greetings from my home office in Boise, Idaho. As Rob mentioned, today I'm going to do a quick review of some best practices regarding battery maintenance with an emphasis on watering systems. We're going to talk about watering the batteries, how to do it safely, and I'd like to mention washing because it's a commonly asked question for me when I'm out in the field anyway. So with that said, we all know that during normal charge and discharge cycles, water is lost from the electrolyte and needs to be replaced. The best way to do so would be using a single point watering system, which helps you fill all of the cells to the same level as quickly as possible. To help identify the proper FlowRite watering system for your battery, Ron mentioned earlier, you can use the kit builder on our website or catalog. Old school, you can call me or your sales rep. We also offer a cell depth measuring tool that you can see here on the right-hand side of your screen. That will also help you achieve which valve is going to be best for your particular battery based on your desired shutoff height. So now that we have identified the proper battery watering system for your application, I just want to take a moment to talk about the importance of water quality. FlowRite does not recommend watering a battery with water that contains more than 100 parts per million of total dissolved solids. To help measure the water quality at your facility, you could use a TDS meter as pictured on the left-hand side of your screen. Looks like a thermometer in a cup. What that device is actually doing is letting us know how many parts per million of total dissolved solids exist in your water source. Ultimately, though, I would defer to your battery manufacturer's recommendations because they're going to have more specific guidelines in terms of which actual dissolved solids are allowed and which may not be in your water. If you do have water quality issues and would like to improve it, distilled water is typically going to be your best option, although it's not always readily available or practical. So you could use a deionizer as pictured on the right side of your screen right now. Deionizer is just one of the many water supplies that FlowRite issues to help power your FlowRite watering systems. So whether your facility requires the portability of a portable watering tank as pictured here on the left side of your screen in the blue with the wheels, or a simple 20-foot regulated hose supplies, which happens to be our most popular water supply pictured up at the top of the screen, we have something that will work for your application. I haven't been stumped yet, but if there's any concerns, feel free to reach out. Now I'd like to talk about why single point watering systems are important. For starters, you can save money. I mentioned before that we can water the batteries with a single point watering system more efficiently. So we're going to have a time savings in labor alone. Not to mention, we all know that a properly hydrated lead acid battery is going to improve the battery life. And perhaps most importantly would be the increased safety factor. You're going to see an increase in safety because your techs will not have to risk acid exposure by bending over a battery and manually putting water into each cell. Safety, let's keep it with the basics. We recommend using proper personal protective equipment. It's been a hot word lately, especially the last several months. PPE for working on a battery anytime is going to involve aprons, safety glasses, a mask, rubber gloves. I would also recommend removing any metallic jewelry. And speaking from personal experience, as somebody who has destroyed a countless amount of jeans and t-shirts while working on batteries, I would recommend avoiding cotton clothing and wearing something with a polyester base, as it's going to be more resistant to the rigors of battery acid exposure. Moving on to washing the batteries, everyone on this call, I'm certain, understands the importance of maintaining a properly washed battery in regards to its place in the preventative maintenance practices. I would like to mention that while washing a battery with a FlowRite watering system on it, go ahead and treat that watering system as if it's just part of the battery. The tops of those battery watering valves are just as robust as the tops of the battery cells, so there's no need to remove the watering system. Just go ahead and wash your battery as you normally would. With that, I know I kept it real basic and simple. That's how we're operating here in the Western Territory these days. But if you do have any follow-up questions or concerns, please don't be shy. Feel free to call myself or any other member of our sales team, or any of Ron's customer service department. And I'm going to wrap it up and give control back to our Georgia office. Rob, you still there?
I'm here. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate you. As we do when we go in and do these type presentations and conversations, there's always internal talk and internal dialogue about who's going to do what, who's going to say this and that. And the good news is, with Hannah McCarthy coming up, our Central Region Manager and OEM Manager, she's the one that told us what she was going to do. She told us she was back and clean up. She told us she was going to bring it home. So with our battery monitoring, I'm going to turn it over to Hannah and let her talk to you a little bit. Hannah, you there?
Yes, thanks, Rob. That was a very nice introduction there. My name's Hannah. I'm the Central Regional Rep for FlowRite, and I'm here to talk today about our battery monitoring line. At FlowRite, so if you've worked with us in the past, you know that watering systems are kind of our bread and butter. It's how we got our start. But over the years, as we developed as a company, as our industry developed into a more technology-inclined industry, we wanted to not only offer those wonderful battery watering systems that we have, but also ways to monitor your battery, whether it's just electrolyte level or your overall battery health. So to do that, we have a couple different options. We have our simple light, which is that first light that you see there on the left-hand side. It's just a simple green or off light. We have our drill-in level sensor that features a red and green light. And then we have our in-valve level sensor, which is incorporated into the valve. So now with, in the past, we've had to drill into the top of the batteries to get those lights installed to monitor the electrolyte level within your battery. With our in-valve level sensor, you no longer have to drill into the top of the battery. It will install like any of our single point watering systems do. And then that features our remote level sensor, which is a green and a red light, super bright LED light. So it's visible from, pretty far away. And it's just a really great light. This is also available in our deep cycle valves as well. So if you're working with those commercial batteries or, smaller golf cart style batteries, you don't have to drill into the top of that battery, which oftentimes waives the warranty. You can just install one of these lights and be able to monitor your electrolyte level that way. Moving on to a more kind of complex, but still super simple to use and install system is our advanced battery steward system. So our first step into this, battery monitoring space was Original Battery Steward, which was a maintenance program and scheduler. What we've done, if you've worked with Battery Steward in the past, is take those same principles of maintenance tracking and getting those key events like watering and tracking the amp hours and things like that into your battery, but then also focusing on the overall health of the battery. So if we switch to the next screen, we're going to see that Advanced Battery Steward is a 3-part system. What we have is the tracker that physically goes onto the battery. This is where you're going to start, what's going to track those events. So whether it's amp hours in and out, battery usage time, or water pressure, which is actually going to date and time stamp every time that battery is watered. That is, the functions of the tracker. Then our second part is the gateway. This looks like a wireless modem. It's that small white box that you see on the screen there. That is going to take all of the information off of the tracker, load it up to the cloud, and then put it into our application and our web portal, which is the third portion of the system. So through the use of the gateway, once we install those trackers, we plug in the gateway. Nothing has to be done to get that data from, to download that data. Users are able to see it from the comfort of their office or their home. If you're like a lot of us, working remotely right now, you don't have to be in the physical location to download that important information. So it's, a really great tool to use. We want to focus, on preventative maintenance as well as tracking, those day-to-day activities. So if anybody has any other questions, on this program, if you'd like to see demo data, if you'd like to test it out, please let us know. We're always happy to go into more details about it. I always love talking about this product, so please let me know if you have any questions. Okay.
All right, thanks, Hannah. I appreciate that. And now you see why she told us she was going to bat cleanup up there. So we do appreciate it. And speaking of demo data and information, if there's anything that we can do for you, whether it be help out with customer demos, go and see somebody, and I know that's very limited right now with what's going on in the country, just let us know. Most of y'all should have our contact number. If not, you can find it on your screen right now. I can't tell if there are any questions. Maybe, Eileen, you can let me know if there are any questions that the attendees have asked. If not, we really do appreciate you taking time out today to sit with us and learn a little bit more about us, from the view from the president to the production floor to quality to customer service, and then a couple of sales folks talking. So, you know, we really want to make things easier in your world for you. We understand your focus out there, and what we want to do is make sure that when it comes to single point watering and battery monitoring, that it's as easy as possible for you and your customers. So if there's anything we can do, just let us know. Otherwise, you'll be getting an email from us. Here's some other ways that you can follow us via LinkedIn, Instagram, or Facebook. We appreciate your time, guys. Take care.